one of the top 20 places on the planet to start .com, specifically Kuala Lumpur. How can we, in 10 years, turn Kuala Lumpur into one of the top 20 places on the entire world to start the .com? In other words, create a renaissance in Malaysia. That's what we're working on right now. So Mindvalley is starting this project called Project Renaissance, where we are attempting to reverse engineer the events that took place in Europe in the 14th century and bring that to this city. So let's see what happened exactly in Europe in the 14th century. In Italy, in a town called Florence, it became a gathering place of the smartest people in Europe at that time. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Verrocchio, new inventions, new art, new creations were all being produced in this little town called Florence. And there were a number of reasons that these things were happening, but one of the biggest reasons was the density of minds. Smart people were coming together in one place. And this was a small town. Now, it happened again in Menlo Park in the 1970s. Sanjeev started a group called the Home Brew Computer Club in his garage, and he got young people who were into electronics to come and meet in this garage and discuss their passion. Two of the people in that group, Steve and Steve, went on to start a company called Apple, which all of us have heard about. But again, Apple started because one man decided to bring a group together in his garage, people like-minded, smart people with a common interest, so they share results with each other and help each other grow. That was what emerged as a side effect of Apple. So we asked ourselves, can we replicate this? And we started experimenting with this idea of bringing together smart people. The first thing, of course, we did was Austin Festival, which has become one of the coolest entrepreneurial festivals in the world. The last one, in which Mindvalley launched in Mexico, for example, had about 1,500 people apply for about 200 spots. It was profitable, and 75% of people ranked it like 5 out of 5 stars. And so we thought, this is really cool. Like, we can bring people together in festivals and get entrepreneurs to exchange ideas, but how can we do that on a more sustainable basis? And how can we do it here in Malaysia? So the first experiment we tried was actually kind of an accident. Wuhan, who's sitting over there, asked if we could use Mindvalley's meeting room downstairs to bring together a group of like techies for a little meeting called Webcam. And crazy things happened. Firstly, that group from Webcam started branching out into all these different groups for all these different areas, from iOS programming to copyright to motion graphics, video editing, web design, groups for filmmaking, groups for public speaking, and these groups grew and grew and grew. Many of them became brands in themselves, like Incitement right now. You've seen them in the newspapers, you've seen them on radio. Incitement just spread to Thailand and Persia, Canada, and the US. And Incitement is basically a group that started out in the Mindvalley office, founded by 2 Mindvalley employees to teach Malaysians public speaking. Webcam by Wuhan went on also to have like sold out events, standing room only, covered on the press, on the TV. Overall, according to Wuhan, we had 200 events and 10,000 participants in the first 2 years of this experiment with open sourcing our office space. But the crazy thing was this: indirectly, we developed a formula as a company where Malaysia's smartest people were gathering in our office. While all the other companies in Malaysia, from Rocket Internet, the other big IT companies, were like scrambling to hire headhunters to find the smartest people, they were coming to us. And it was really cool because we got to hire many of them. And now the second thing we decided to do is, if we get all the smart people together, how can we bring in like VCs and investors to start funding the ideas? And that too started happening. One of the results is we managed to hire some really amazing people like Wayu, who's sitting over there, and now we are launching, Mindvalley is launching what I believe will soon be one of the hottest apps to ever come out in Asia. Webcam, on the other hand, went on to become a great community on Facebook with about 1,700 members. So these things grew and grew and grew. Now the next step with these groups is to unite them. And that's where Awesomeness Fest is coming in. In the next couple of months, we'll be bringing Awesomeness Fest to Asia. So the first step of this idea, this Project Renaissance idea, is to create, like the European Renaissance, different groups of smart people. You guys are part of that group, so give yourselves a round of applause. Designers, artisans who come together to share ideas, right? But now what we want to do is connect these groups. So let's say people in Webcam have an idea for a new tech product, but they need a designer. We know to plug them into this group. They need a copywriter to write their advertising. We know to plug them into the copyright group, AdCamp, and so on and so on. There's immense power in this. So this is a different way of launching an entrepreneurial movement, but but it's something that we're really excited about. Now, AIMFest is the mega event that we want to bring to Malaysia to unite all these groups. There was a short video of an experimental event we held in Krabi that you're going to see a timestamp. Okay, so this potentially could help us see towards millions. How do we go from millions to billions? Now, Peter Diamandis, who is a guy who's inspired me in many ways, he's the founder of the X Prize, said this. He said that the accelerated pace of technology will soon be able to create companies that can impact 1 billion lives in 10 years from start to finish, from inception to like the maturity of that company. 1 billion lives in 10 years. And I believe one of the ways we can do that is through education. So now we have this space, this hall that we're in, we have these groups coming together. And in case you haven't noticed, what you're actually sitting in right now is an experimental school. This is not just a meeting place for designers. Really what we are building is an experimental school to try to create a new kind of education system in Malaysia. So from the hall downstairs, we decided to build this space. So we started planning this about a year ago. And we put in about 7 million ringgit. So again, this has been fully self-funded by Mind Valley. But as you can see, it's pretty cool. And while the hall below holds 62 people, this one holds about 150. So it's a huge, huge increase. Now the next step is to go from just having an hall to turning this into a virtual college for entrepreneurs. One of the things you'll notice that's going to start happening is all these groups, we're going to start filming their talks. And we're going to start releasing these talks on YouTube to create almost free education. Already the first one that we have started is Mind Valley Insights, which any of you can visit right now, mindvalleyinsights.com. 4 days ago, I put up a post on Insights, an article on entrepreneurship, which has really gone viral on the internet. It made the front page of Reddit Entrepreneurs. So, in fact, it made #1 on Reddit Entrepreneurs. And we want to start similar groups with this to get hot content out in design, in technology, in funding startups, in tech, in arts. Tristan, for example, is Tristan here? Tristan, for example, started a group called Decoded, which takes place over here, which teaches people how to think like programs. Really cool stuff. So rather than form a traditional school for entrepreneurs, because if we want to make Malaysia one of the top places to build to start.com, we got to get the smartest entrepreneurs here in Malaysia. We're doing an opposite thing. We're not starting a school. We're helping the smartest people come together, teach each other, train each other, have that built, and then broadcast this live on the web. So that someday, 17-year-old Malaysians who want to say learn how to build their own iOS app can log in and learn for free. And the teachers are the people in KL, the smartest people in KL, the smartest designers have become the teachers for future designers. The smartest iOS programs here have become the teachers for future iOS programs. As they stand on this stage and they teach and they agree to have their talks broadcast to other young Malaysians. So Mind Valley decided to take the initiative on this by open sourcing its business. So already on Mind Valley Insights, you can go and see that a lot of our practices, the way we manage, the way we hire employees, our culture, is actually documented for you. We want to actually encourage you guys to be able to reverse engineer what we're doing and start your own epic companies. Already many Malaysians have done that, like Kylie, who started Says, he's ex-Mind Valley. You know, there's a lot of Malaysian companies right now that just borrow our models, and we totally dig that. But now we want to do it for design, etc., etc. So the next stage that we're going into, so you can see it starts out with a meeting place. We bring people together. From that meeting place, we get smart people to share ideas, we record the ideas, we broadcast them. Now we have a channel where young Malaysians can learn these skills. Now the next thing we want to do is build a platform that can connect together this talent so that new companies can form. And this is where we're looking at all the people who are joining these groups. And we want to build a platform called Talent at Mind Valley. So see a lot of people over here, how many of you guys are freelance designers? That means you do design, you take on clients, you build websites, quite a number of you. How many of you here as freelance designers would like to get more clients and higher paid clients? Almost everyone. No one would say no to more higher paid clients. So the thing is, Malaysia has a huge mass of talented designers and writers and copywriters. The talent here is actually pretty amazing, and the prices are very competitive. The next stage we're going into after this phase is to launch Talent at Mind Valley. And this is really a different model of website where you guys will be able to list your services. Now we have a huge following at Mind Valley or Mind Valley Insights. We have thousands of American entrepreneurs who follow us. We get emails all the time. Hey, I want to build a website just like you. Can you pair me up with a designer? we're able to do anything with these emails because Mindvalley doesn't really do design work. We're a publishing company, right? So what we want to do now is give you guys a chance to get listed on this website so that this mass of inquiries that's coming to us, we can now funnel them to you. We want to build, in short, different type of e-learns, a different type of 99 designs. One of the interesting things about this website, so there are a couple of different spins which we're looking at. One is when you choose a designer, you also get to see the copywriter or the programmer that they work well with, so you can form your own virtual team. So we're looking to start this company. We're actually going into a partnership with Akshay. He's coming on as a design hacker to launch this, and we're looking to take this IPO in the next 2 years. So we're really excited about this because, I'm really crazy about not just building businesses that make money, but businesses that serve the community. And a side effect of this new marketplace idea that we are starting is a way to allow young Malaysians to fund their entrepreneurial activities. So let's say, for example, Wuhan is a designer on this marketplace, and there's a young kid called Ben who wants to start a simple blog to make money on AdSense. Ben can ask for mentorship or can ask for help because Ben is under 21, that's the threshold. And Wuhan can look at Ben and go, okay, you know what, I don't want to set up a WordPress blog, I'm going to set it up for you for free. So Wuhan helps a young 21-year-old Malaysian start a business. Wuhan gets a badge or a credit that boosts his rankings in the marketplace, and hopefully he then gets more clients. So we want to encourage you guys and the programs and the copywriters to not just list yourselves, and we will help you brand yourself and help you get foreign customers and clients from the US, but we want to encourage you guys to actually train the next generation of Malaysians. Now the next thing we're going to do beyond that, and this one is fairly new, many of you have seen this presentation, but you've not heard this part, is the Mindvalley Fellowship. We really want to take this beyond. So we've started the space. We've started 20 groups. The groups meet here. We're starting to record these talks and create television channels where people can learn from you. We're going to form a marketplace and a collaborative system where people can connect and hire designers and programmers. But the next thing is, we want to create hundreds of Tony Fernandez's in Malaysia, hundreds of new people like Kai Lee and Richard Branson in KL. And I believe entrepreneurship can be reverse engineered. I believe anyone, as long as they're not too old and they haven't been brainwashed by society, can become a great entrepreneur. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start picking every year 25 young Malaysians between the ages of 15 and maybe 21. We haven't set the number yet. And these 25 young Malaysians, we're going to spend maybe, it's about 20 to 30,000 ringgit on them each. And every year for 10 years, we want to give them opportunities to grow and personally mentor them. So every year we're going to bring another 25. At the end of 10 years, that first group, if they started at 15, they'll now be 25 years old, and we in total have about 250. But we want to bring them into these meetings so that they learn a little bit of design, a little bit of technology at webcam, a little bit of copywriting. We want to bring the right mentors to them. We want to allow Mindvalley employees to help them out and advise them if they have ideas. We want to bring funding and investors. We want to really create a new kind of model to take young people and turn them into rockstar entrepreneurs. I don't believe in the education system. As far as I'm concerned, the education system is completely broken. I don't care if you don't have a college degree or anything of that sort. I believe the DNA of an entrepreneur can be reverse engineered. So just like the Field Fellowship, we want to start something similar in Malaysia. So that's the plan for Project Renaissance, and I hope you guys like that. And why I believe this is so possible is because seeing Mindvalley itself, we've had an amazing track record with starting entrepreneurs. 20% of everyone who works for me becomes an entrepreneur in 2 years. And of that 20%, a large number of them I've personally funded, and many of these guys in this picture have gone on to start companies doing millions in US dollars every year. So we've had a really good track record. Some of these guys started here when they were like 24, and now are like highly accomplished entrepreneurs, authors, international speakers, or are worth $1 million on paper. Now, we want to go beyond just Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur is just one country. From KL, we plan on taking Project Renaissance across the world. We're lucky because Mindvalley has 70% of our workforce international, and we have about 31 different countries right now on this. So we're interested to take these models elsewhere. But first, we've got to make it work in KL. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because I feel you guys are an integral part of this. Firstly, how many people are Malaysian? So do you think this would be something that would make you proud of your country, if we could pull it off? If we could make Malaysia known as one of the top 10 places in the world to start.com, can I hear a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. So what we want you to do is to simply play with us. Come to more events, tell your friends about this, invite your friends to webcam, to events such as this. We're going to launch the marketplace pretty soon. We're going to launch a company to be able to film all these talks and get these online. And we're hoping you guys, would be open to getting your ideas out. We want to create a free education layer for young Malaysians. And soon we'll be launching the marketplace with Akshay. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you guys who want to be in that marketplace. In fact, if you want to be on the marketplace, please shoot an email to, I'm going to give, Emilia, I'm going to give your address, okay? Please shoot an email to Emilia, E-M-I-L-I-A, @mindvalley.com. We don't know what cut Mindvalley is going to get. Maybe 5%, maybe like 99 designs, 30%. We don't know. What we want to do right now is test. Basically, Akshay's process is to test the market. So he wants to interview you, figure out what you need, what type of clients you're looking for, and then we're going to reverse engineer to build a system to make sure Malaysian designers are getting those clients. I believe in just 18 months, we can create a situation in the world where the top American entrepreneurs want their websites built by Malaysians. Because, well, first we are slightly more expensive than the Indians, but also a lot more talented. And I think Malaysian designers are as talented as the Americans, but way cheaper. So I think we can really get you guys some good clients. So anyway, shoot an email to amelia@mindvalley.com. Continue coming to these events. Hope you guys enjoy it. And again, remember, the next 18 months, if you live in KL, it's going to be crazy exciting, especially if you want to connect with other entrepreneurs and build epic businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Vision. That's awesome stuff. Well, we've got like design thinking going on, and we now have Project Renaissance, which is putting your mind onto creating good stuff with other people and bringing more talents. Now we're gonna see how it works for you, Mike. We've been doing it, and Chris Johnson, give him a round of applause.
Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about like niching for the basically. Wait, I need that clicker in me. Which button do I press?
Pointed towards me.
Yeah, pointing towards me and right.
Oh, towards you. Okay. Right. Okay. So I think everyone here knows that UX is super important and probably the hardest thing for a startup to nail down. Right. The reason for this is a lot of startups or services cast their net too wide. So basically, they try to target the world and end up not fulfilling the needs of the people they need to fulfill. So what the case I'm trying to put forth here is that it is really, really important to niche down. And I'll tell you like why in context of me and Grace's experience building Young MX TV. So by actually niching down, right, what we do is we can actually fully serve a smaller group of people, and it actually makes it easier for us to understand them better, understand them deeper, and fully serve their needs. Alright, so how do you do that? Actually, it's quite normal for us as entrepreneurs, right, to have like grandiose visions, and like plans to take over the world and shit like that. We're all gunning for the big exit, but everything actually starts with the first step. And that first step is actually fully understanding, going deep into a niche of people and actually 100% fulfilling them. Okay, well, let me tell you like in terms of a story, like how I think some of you know that actually we started off with a service called Addict TV, which is basically a kind of like MTV service for music lovers in general. Alright, so well, when we did kind of like we tried to do a whole the UX thing where we go understand our users and stuff like that, the whole process. But what we found was there were just too many things to optimize. I mean, there's so many parts that are moving that a team of 2 or 3 at one point in time, we cannot deal with that. that. We cannot deal with that. And prioritization became a huge nightmare. It's freaking annoying. Okay, so, and on top of that, user acquisition costs for actually a general service like music, right, is super expensive. Super expensive, and it's very hard to retain the people. And also, the people being less engaged, they are less likely to give feedback and like sort of like honest feedback, because we're not 100% focused on actually serving their needs. So they are less motivated. So one day we just thought, okay, why not we just focus on one small part of our user base, the part that's doing actually pretty well. And to test it further, right, what we did was we actually, oh shit, I forgot to change the slides. Okay, yeah. So, and to test it even further, to actually validate our hypothesis further, what we did was actually build various Facebook pages. Various Facebook pages for different genres of music to test out which genre actually music videos are important for which genre the most. And we found that well, K-pop being so popular as it is now, it had the highest rate of response. And that sort of validated some of our assumptions. So we went ahead and took Edit code and threw it. Okay, we didn't really throw it away, we sort of like modified it into Yuma, which we have today, which is 100% focused on serving K-pop fans. Okay, from this we saw kind of like the engagement increase by a factor of 10. And we also managed to build a huge audience, 600,000 fans strong Facebook page in just a short couple of months, very short couple of months. And the user acquisition cost was crazily low. It's about 1 cent per like, and they're all freaking active. So yay. Yeah, okay, shit, where am I?
One cent per like.
Alright, so from this, where do we go? Alright, so from this, since we already have an audience, we set a goal to actually conquer this little niche. Okay, it's not that little, it's actually quite big, but we actually set out to conquer the little niche. How? How we're going to do that is basically make the service indispensable to them. Indispensable to them in the sense that without the service, they would basically die. Alright, so we have to find, basically what we need to do is uncover. We need to uncover their unique video consumption patterns, because we're kind of in video. So we want to uncover their unique video consumption patterns, and we kind of found a few interesting things. K-pop fans are crazy, okay? They are psycho. They follow certain fan, certain sort of groups of idols, as you call it, and they basically want to watch every freaking video that these idols come out with, even though it's basically live performances. It happens Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they actually want to watch every single live performances that the idols appear in. Okay? Basically, it's a change of clothes, same song, same dance, change of clothes, but they still want to watch it. And it's actually number one on the priority list. And a lot of this kind of like weird kind of like, I'm not going to go too far in detail, but yeah. So what we did then was actually went out to, this is where we are right now. We are actually building up the service to actually suit those needs without actually niching down. And if you took music a general direction, we would actually have never figured this shit out. Basically, we would never have been able to figure it out, because music, there's so many patterns of consuming video. So actually the stuff that we took was actually pretty simple. Oh, I forgot to change the slides again. Oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, how the process that we used was actually first go out and collect data from basically we had our Facebook page, we had our email list, which is about 14,000 people strong. Also, really bugging our K-pop fans that actually are in Malaysia or Taiwan to come out, Yamcha, and basically annoy the shit out of them by asking shitloads of questions. So yeah, from that we actually could build various user personas. So we basically know who they are, what they do, what time they go to the toilet, stuff like that. And from that, we hypothesize the features we build. Once we build it through analytics and also through Google Analytics Access Metrics, which we use to track user behavior on our site, we actually see whether the changes that we made work or not. And then this process kind of rinses and repeats. Okay, so where do we go from here? Right, once we actually lock down that this site is actually indispensable to the fans, what we're going to do is actually duplicate it, expand it into different platforms and duplicate it across niches that are similar. And there are a lot of niches that are similar, for example, sports and what's the other one? Sports and news, where people actually follow certain topics very closely and not everything. Yeah, so that's it. I think, yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this. Think big, act small, live down to win. All right, so thank you very much.
All right, thanks, man. That was great. And just to also mention something that was missing, these guys were featured on Forbes.com. So give a round of applause for Yuma, TechCrunch and Forbes.com. And now we're going to move to Idiawati. She'll be talking about the user experience design in Malaysia. And IUM. And please give a round of applause for Idiawati.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wandi. Right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all Muslims, and a very good evening. Okay, I'm not sharing here. I think I'm learning. I'm learning from all of you. Okay, this is basically the title of my presentation because I'm a student, so I have some kind of structured presentation. So I hope, please bear with me. I hope it wouldn't be more than 15 minutes. Okay. Right. When I first came here, this is the second meeting of UX designers. Okay. It is true that there is no second first impression. With that first impression on that first meeting, that's why I came here. This is the third time I'm here, learning from these designers. Very enthusiastic, very passionate about designs, and you guys are great. Right. I hope you try to relate my presentation with yourself, because otherwise it will be boring. Basically, this is how I begin, where I begin this user experience stuff. I learned human-computer interaction. If you, any one of you have ever attended this course?
Yeah.
Yes. It was back in 2001, actually. So from there, when I came back to Malaysia, I found there are lots of poor design things. It's like so many things is badly designed. So I'm quite blame designers for that stuff. So that's why I work with users for 5 years, because I try to actually validate my feelings and instinct, whether it is a poor design or it's just my instinct. Right. So I started pursuing my study in 2010. After I read some books, I found that there are two things in life that you should identify. First is things that you can do something about, and secondly, things that you cannot do anything about it. So that's why I'm working with UX designers, because these are the people who create products. These are the people who are in control of products, user interfaces. So what user experience? So what is UX? So So I'm sure most of you have seen this before. Okay, this is basically the first picture there. That's how the requirements from the users. Okay, and secondly, if you see there, developers understood it that way and move to the third picture. That's how the problem was solved before. And the third one, that is how the problem is solved now. And move to the lowest, the first here. That is the program after debugging. And the second last is how the program is described by marketing department. And finally, you see that in fact, that is what customer wanted. Okay? So why user experience? Let me just share with you because I'm from a rural area. If you know Sabah, Borneo Park. Okay, there was one time I bring my grandmother to a shopping mall, and then she was so angry because this man he got into the toilet. When she went to the toilet, she said, "There's man go into the same toilet." So this is basically just the persona. This is not my grandmother, okay? This is just a persona that I created. My mother has passed away. Okay, this is a sign on the toilet door, because all her life she has been wearing these shoes. Okay, I thought, because there's no font available, but I thought even if there is font, she cannot even read. Okay, so I was thinking maybe this is the best symbol or design to replace that sign on the toilet. Okay, why these things happen? This is the previous model of human information processing. If you see there, the designer and the user, they do not communicate to each other. The way they communicate is through the system or through the user interfaces. So what is actually user interface? So according to this person called Benyon, please Google, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, Benyon. User interface is any part of the system that you can see perceptually, you understand conceptually, and you can interact with it physically. So that is the definition of user interface. Right. When there is differences, between the user's mental model and the designer's mental model, this is what happened. Right, okay, basically, let's go to the user experience design. It is actually a process. Some people say it's the combination of information design, visual design, interaction design, so on and so forth. Okay, this is by Boris Ma. It is in information architecture website. Okay, this is from James Garrett. I have the book in my bag. I will show you later. Okay, according to James Garrett, there are supposed to be 5 planes if you want to embed or incorporate user experience in your designing process, especially in website. So you have to identify whether your website is informational website or whether your website has applications. So I know you are good in this, I don't have to explain more. Right. Okay, this is from my thesis. I know it looks so dull. Basically, the definitions of user experience is various. A lot of people come up with their own definitions, but just from what we have seen there, according to the International Standard Organization, okay, UX is all aspects of the user's experience when interacting with the product, service, environment, or facility. It's not just applications or website or technologies. It's everything. Okay. So, according to one guy which focus on UX, it is about satisfaction. It's more into the feelings, the well-being, the competency of the user, or the autonomy, the feeling of they are in charge, the users are in charge when they are using your application. That is what they call as user experience. So according to these other people's, they say usability, functionality, branding, content. So you can see there are a lot more there. Many people with different definitions. So design. What is design? Design is basically a process. Okay, you have technology and you have human with their own purposes. So you, as designer, you need to connect between this technology and the people with their own intentions and their own purposes. And another definition of design is a conversation with materials. For example, if you are an interior designer, you must understand about the lighting, you must know about the colors, and if you are, for example, a fashion designer, you need to know about the fabric, and also you need to know about the human. So you, as the designer, a website designer, any application designer, you need to understand the nature of the materials that you are working with. Okay, how to become a UX designer? This is simple. Okay, it does work. Right. So this is the fundamental things. You have to think about the people. Okay, you have to think about the activities, context, technologies, and the design. So we have P, A, C, T, and D. People, activities, context, technologies, and design. All right. So how are you going to do that? It's easy. If I ask you, what do you see from this picture? Some of you may see like a old lady. Some of you may see a beautiful lady. So which sees what from this picture? Which one? Who do you see? What do you see from this picture? Beautiful woman. Both. That's it. Right. Okay. So you have the character there. Thank you for that. So it's about the shift your perception. You have to look things differently. When you meet your users, some of them may say they feel differently. Some people may feel differently with your product. So you have to work with these gray areas. Okay. A lot of technical people, they just work on the dichotomy. That means 1-0, yes or no. Okay, they don't like these gray areas. But if you decide to become a UX designer, you have to accept that gray areas is happening, is there. All right. So this is the book that I read. I took this picture this morning. You don't have to read this book. I will conclude everything for you. But before that, I want to ask one question. If you look at the person next to you, what do you think? What is the first impression? What's your first impression? What comes into your mind? Anyone wants to, share what you see? Right. So, okay, this is the conclusion. If you want to be a UX designer, you must understand, okay, that there are three basic things about human: similarities, differences, and uniqueness. Okay, you don't have to read that thick book, but this is the summary of it. Okay, in terms of knowledge, in terms of their capabilities, in terms of their physical and psychological abilities. Oh, that's my family, so I have like so many people there. Okay, these are the UX designers that I met before. And you are important because you are the goose that will produce golden eggs. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. So we've gone from mindset onto Renaissance into developing a product, and now the psychological side of it and how user experience can benefit you. So we're going to move next on how do you implement it on a product development cycle, which will be presented by Kok Chen. Give a hand for our friend Kok Chen.
Howdy. I'm hoping not to bore any one of you now that I'm delivering the last session. So my name is Kok Chie. My friends usually call me Casey because my name is hard to remember. So it's hard to even write because people forget the second N behind. So yeah, that's life I guess. But it's unique, so that's pretty cool. I'm a UX manager with the company. We have this membership management product. So businesses use it to manage their day-to-day businesses, billing, check-ins, point of sale, and everything. So I'm actually paid to design experiences. So I have a team of designers and business analysts, and we design solutions, work with the developers to come up with it, and work with product owners and stakeholders to get buy-in, confidence on what we release, and so on. So I'm also a Microsoft MVP in Expression Blend. So Expression Blend is a Microsoft design tool. So yeah, chug along. So for today, some agenda. I'll first cover some background on what my company actually does. So what is the product we have out there? How does our team work and all that? I'll then cover the function of UX in our company. So and then I'll go on to some UX tools to equip you all for quick wins if you want to implement UX in your organization. So and some key learnings I hope you guys can bring back with you. So iConnect 360. We started as a greenfield project here in Malaysia. I started in 2010. So greenfield project means there was no past product. We actually belong to a company called EasyPay. So they are a direct debit solution provider. We released the Express version in April this year. So and then we released the standard version, which is basically a bit more features than Express. And we also released an iPhone, iPad app. So in just probably, you can say 6 months, we have 69 club chains using it for their day-to-day operations. So our primary target market is gyms. So for example, celebrity fitness or something, like in Australia, we target only Australia. So in Australia, like you have this low-cost clubs called Fit and Fast. So they charge you like $15 every 2 weeks, fortnight. So our system actually allows you to do all of that. So charge all the members every 2 weeks. When you have failed payment, then the system will automatically inform you so you can collect it. Manage your point of sale transactions, selling your inventory and all of that, doing check-ins and so on. So it's a highly complex enterprise product. So which is kind of tricky. So the function of UX in our company is to allow the business to better understand users. So we are there to bridge the gap. So business people would know that okay, we need to deliver this feature in order to meet that need. Oh, okay. Can you all hear me just now? Yeah, I hope you can. Sorry, man. So another key important thing is it has to help make money. So if it's not economically viable, nobody will invest in it, right? So nobody will actually pay me to do my job. So it has to make money. So it has to be aligned with strategy. So what do I mean by strategy? Like our company wants to target Australia. Should I go and build something for Malaysia? Maybe not, right? So be very clear with strategy, like what market we want to target. Let's say we are targeting gyms. So in stuff we build, do we want to think about bookings for cinemas? Maybe not, right? So be clear of your strategy. Another thing to note is the organization delivers the experience, right? So it's not just the design team, it's not just the product. So like we have this product out there in the wild, people are using it every day, the whole day. Um, but the tricky bit is that's not the only thing. The whole organization actually delivers experience. Like we have customer service, we have sales, we have account managers and so on. So so UX actually works across the board, not only in product development but also in marketing, in customer service and so on. Another thing to note is the experience is more than the interface. So a lot of us focus on it's just a UI, this is how the design looks, but it's more than that, right? It's all the interactions you have with your users. So so how, let's say, any one of you have a UX department in your company? Okay, yeah, so probably you might have. I'm pretty impressed with your work. So if if you're working in any corporate environment, right, and let's say you want to set up a UX team, a design team. So usually a lot of Malaysian companies, they invest in developers, right? No designers, we don't need designers, they are dispensable. But nowadays with the iPhone and all, yeah, with iPhone, with all the cool products out there, people's expectations are much higher, right? So like crappy products, stuff that look like probably from not sure what century, they're not acceptable anymore. So if you want to start up something in your company, you want to pitch to your boss or whatnot, you need buy-in, right, for anything to happen. So even developers, if they're up there, they buy you, but developers say, don't believe in you, you're pretty much doomed. So yeah, that's why quick wins are critical, right? So in whatever you do, if you don't do it, you better be right, right? Once you get it wrong, you might not have a second chance. So you want quick wins to be successful, right? So I'll then share with you a few quick wins you can use in your organization to actually get things going, get a UX department going, get a design department going. The first one is sketching and prototyping. So I believe a lot of you use sketching and prototyping your day-to-day work, basically showing the client or whoever this is how you look, right? And then deliver it. Are you okay with it? And so on. So if you're the designer and you're working with a developer, sometimes what actually comes out might not be correct, right? Maybe you will have rounded corners together, then the developer will say, takes too much time, let's make it square instead. So you get that. So that's usually the ugly bit. So the purpose of sketching and prototyping. So you want to visually communicate how the user journey is. So you can have storyboards and so on. So the user will click this, go to that screen, click on the button, that's what will happen, stuff like that. So in our company, what happened was developers were the ones spearheading all of this. So they will say this is how it will look like. One person will think of a square, the other will think of a circle, the other will think of a rectangle. Excellent. Then the CEO, when he sees it, he's like, shit, I've invested and waited for 3 months and I get this piece of whatnot. So that's where products come in. So in our company, what happened is the CEOs were shocked. He was shocked. He was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Can you do that? So I was like, yeah, I've checked with developers. Right. So even developers bought it. So it kind of worked. It also facilitated feedback. So like the CEO or the product owner will say that, oh, can you please change this, change that. Imagine you have already built the whole thing at the very end, and then they say change this, change that. Too late, bro. So you'll be like, I won't pay you if you don't do it, so you're screwed. So that's where this feedback loop is pretty important. The other bit is to uncover tricky scenarios. So when you actually put it up in the wild, you show developers maybe they'll say that, what about that tricky scenario? Are you validating that bank number? Maybe the credit card number in the back, are you validating it against maybe MasterCard, Visa, and so on? Stuff like that. You wouldn't have think about it maybe in your design. So you will then need to handle it and maybe show an error message and so on. So this is where you bring up all the uncover tricky stuff. Clarifying investments is to communicate to business people. So it's to clarify what you're going to invest in building. So let's say some company finds you to build something. They usually tell you that, can you show me a mock-up of something? They want to see what they're investing in before they invest, right? So key purpose here of that is really useful when you're building a new product feature. our website. So that's where you see the real value, right? So I have a prototype demo. Tristan, can you help me out? Yep. Okay, so we actually did this prototype using Silverlight. So this is done with a tool called Sketchflow. Um, what happens is it actually shows the membership management process in our system. So we have this feature to actually manage your membership. What happens is you can set it to like, let's say you join Celebrity Fitness, you have this gold membership, it's $50 a month and so on. So we have this whole prototype that shows, okay, you have to enter the name, the description, decide which site you want to sell it on. So maybe you have a Bangsa South site, you have a Bangsa site, a Mid Valley site, and all that. Maybe you have some exclusive memberships that are sold there. Then if you go to the right, oh, so you can actually like click next, interact with it. So like all these checkboxes are workable. So what happened is we have this Sydney team as well, and they saw this, they're like, oh, awesome. Oh, when you click on this, I want this to actually happen. I'm like, oh, okay, now we know. So this has been pretty useful. So yeah, can we go back to slides? Cool. Yes, so that worked out pretty well. Then another weapon for quick wins is persona. So like for example, the guys in UMac actually use persona prepare. So what is important? It puts the focus on the user's goal, right? So when was the last time you actually had a passionate argument? Oh, I think it's this. I want it to be blue, or you want it to be red. Oh, then the boss says he wants it black. The boss wins, right? So that's who are you focusing upon? Are you building something for yourself or for the end user? So personas are pretty important in putting that into perspective. But of course not on colors and all that. The other bit is it helps you to understand what is a minimum viable product, right? Or minimum user journey. So if you guys read this book called The Lean Startup, right, by Eric Ries, it tells you about like when you build a product, you build everything, every single feature on the earth. By the time you're done, you're probably bankrupt. So it's a case of prioritizing and delivering the bare minimum, right? So what is the bare minimum? You have to see the users you're targeting, right? So for example, we had this iPhone iPad app where we want to allow people to, let's say, I belong to Celebrity Fitness, then I'm a salesperson. I want to go to a club to sell memberships. So I can straight away on the spot fill up your name and straight away start charging you. That works right on the go. So what happened is we wanted to target the salesperson persona. So because we didn't use personas on that project, what happened was we built many other extra features, like for example viewing dashboards and all that, doing reports. Probably a salesperson wouldn't need that, maybe a business owner order. So that's why it's a bit tricky. Informed feature prioritizations. So you might see I build all the features, minimum features for this particular persona before moving on to the next one. Right. So you don't want to have some big solutions after you don't have enough time when you release. You have a semi-cooked feature for salesperson, semi feature for the other persona, right? So it's really, really useful when scope is an issue. So if you put a survey to many product development firms out there, you can ask them what's your top 3 issues. I rest assured, scope is one of them. All of them. Scope is definitely one of them. So the boss will always say, I want everything. Right. So you cannot say no, 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 no. You get, yeah. So you'll say, let's focus on, let's prioritize. Right. Oh, that's less important. Let's put it down there. We'll get it. We'll get to it later, but in reality, maybe not. So yeah, personas. So what happened is we actually came up with a few personas. So if you search online, you'll find that a lot of personas have a lot of details like, oh, this guy goes shopping on the weekend. She likes to watch horror movies or whatnot. We try to keep the personas clean of all of that stuff because what happened, we needed buy-in from stakeholders. We wanted the stakeholders like the sales director and so on to also talk about our personas and sell based on it. So if we have too much details, they won't read. They barely even read the email. So it's like, yeah, to keep it short, but it's pretty long as well. So that's the sad part of things. not really that usable. So it actually covers details on like, if you see, the important bits in here is actually the people, who is the person, the activity they are focused on in their day-to-day job, and the context they are in. Right? For example, if they are in a gym environment, what if it's in peak hour? Right? Non-stop people coming in, non-stop people selling, want to buy stuff. Right? So that means the system has to perform. So it informs all those kind of decision, right? So please stand. So that's on persona. What happened is nobody was reading them. So what I did was the ultimate. If you have stuff that you need to announce or whatnot, but people are not reading them, you know what you do? You paste them in the toilet. Seriously. Everyone was coming back to me saying that, oh, you have a typo there. I'm like, woo! So yeah, that's pretty solid. So the next quick win on this is usability testing. So really important. It helps uncover usability issues and missed expectations. For example, we are looking at this client, right? Using our process of adding a member in the system, right? So adding a member, you need to fill out his name, his address, so on. Choose the membership, choose when to start billing him, when to start the membership, and then sign an agreement, take a photo. So it's quite a lengthy process. We noticed that when they actually click a button, gone, all their data gone. So we like usually when you have your browser open, right, and you click something else, it'll tell you, oh, are you sure you want to exit this? Right. We didn't do that. So yeah. And until today we haven't fixed that. Yeah. Yeah, he was like, oh, we have to fix it, and then down the priority list. I'm like, yeah, learning very important. A lot of us just build software and release it, expecting it to stay, right? That will never work in this industry anymore. So softwares have to evolve, right? We are building for change, not building for it to stay and last, right? So as we learn more, we change. So like for example, my product owner asked me, oh, why didn't you design it that way last time? I'm like, I didn't know at that time. So that's pretty much what's happening, I guess. Informing product decisions. For example, let's say the product owner says that, oh, we are getting a lot of support tickets for this feature. Let's do these 10 fixes. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Are we fixing the root cause? We should be. Yeah, that's dangerous. So fixing the right problems, not fixing the symptoms, right? Clarifying ROI. So this is more for business people. You can tell your CEO, I want to clarify whether you got your return on investing this feature, right? For example, if we invested in building this campaign management feature. So like for example, MailChimp and all that, where you can send campaigns to your user base. So we have this feature where you can have like, when the member, you can set automated campaigns. So like when a member is going to expire in 2 weeks, you can send an email say, yo bro, want to sign up with me? Something. So yeah, what happened was we really